Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Cast MMA, and today I'm going to be getting into every fight to make next after UFC Vegas 103. I'm just going to get right into it with MANEL KAPE versus Alexander Pantoja. This one's really obvious. It's technically the winner of of Alexander Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France, but yesterday, Alexander Pantoja went on and said the Kai Kara-France fight isn't booked. So, MANEL KAPE took 0 damage, and MANEL KAPE hopefully looks to stay active. Turn him right back around and put him in at UFC 316 to fight Alexander Pantoja in Newark. I suggested this when I made my fight predictions last week. I said get the winner of this fight against Pantoja in 316, and it might work out. So I just really hope they don't do Kai Kara-France versus Alexander Pantoja. And we just hop right into MANEL KAPE versus Alexander Pantoja because I just found that to be so much more of an interesting fight. Next up, the loser of the main event, Almabayev. I want him in there against Ramazan Tamirov. It's a sort of caucus matchup. Should be pretty interesting. And Ramazan Tamirov beat the number 12 guy in the rankings. And I'm going to imagine Almabayev is going to be at like 9 after he lost to MANEL KAPE. So they're going to be matched up pretty well. Both took a little bit of damage, but nothing too serious. Tamirov didn't get hit with much. So you can turn them both around. Their timelines are going to match up pretty well. Just because they fought on the same card, just naturally the timelines are going to match up. So yeah, I think this is really interesting. And flyweight's sort of going to begin to shape up. Because if Ramazan Tamirov beats Almabayev, you could have him move up the rankings, and sort of the new contenders are starting to emerge at flyweight, which is something the division seeded for a long time. So yeah, give MANEL KAPE his title shot versus Pantoja at 316, and do Almabayev versus Tamirov, probably at in a fight night in June. I think June, July, that'd work out pretty well. Turn these guys around quickly, have them fight again. Next up, Cody Brundage versus Mansour Abdulmalik. Cody Brundage got the win. It was a weird one, but yeah, I mean, he took some damage, and so did Mansour Abdulmalik in his fight at UFC Seattle. Their timelines are going to be pretty similar. Have them just fight each other, and this is a good way to build Mansour Abdulmalik's name, because Cody Brundage is sort of well known because he fought at 300 on the main card, even though he shouldn't have. So yeah, this is just a great way to build up a prospect in Mansour Abdulmalik that I'm pretty sure the UFC wants to be good, wants him to succeed. And the loser of the co-main event, Julian Marquez, should be cut. Put him in the free agency. Send him to GFL. Send him to the PFL. LFA, CFFC, 1, I don't know. Not the UFC. Next up, this is the real co-main event, the people's co-main event. The winner of that one in a really close fight against Esteban Ribovic was Nasrat Haqparast. And I think you should be getting a look into the rankings. And a guy who is also kind of new into the rankings is Grant Dawson. And I don't like Grant Dawson, so I want him to lose. What he did to Carlos Diego Ferreira annoyed me because I liked Carlos Diego Ferreira. So yeah, they're going to both be on similar timelines. I know Haqparast took a lot of damage, and maybe Dawson wants to turn around earlier. But Haqparast is going to turn around decently soon, probably in July. And Dawson can wait 6 months to fight. He just fought at 311. So the timelines work out decently well. And I think this would be a really interesting fight because I think Haqparast can deny Dawson's takedowns and keep the fight standing. And if you can do that against Grant Dawson, you can knock him out. And yeah, this would just be a banger. And Haqparast is a guy who consistently goes out there and puts on great fights for the fans. I know a lot of people think he robbed Esteban Ribovic. He didn't rob Esteban Ribovic. That was a close fight. And also, I hate when people say he robbed Ribovic. The judges gave him the decision. He didn't go out and give himself the decision, Yeah, so I hope they sort of try to build up Haqparast. He's a really entertaining guy. And him versus Grant Dawson would be a banger at International Fight Week prelims. That'd be a really cool fight to have on there to really boost up that International Fight Week card. And the loser of that fight, Esteban Ribovic, versus the winner of the main event opener on this one, Sam Patterson. He got a really quick KO, and I know Ribovic took some damage, but I think the timelines are going to match up well enough this would be a really interesting matchup because Ribovic now needs a way to get himself back in the top 15 conversation. And Sam Patterson is on a 3-fight win streak at lightweight. He's undefeated at lightweight. And this is really interesting to me because get these guys on like a fight night in June, and these guys can keep building up their star power. Esteban Ribovic has a decent fan base because of the fight of the year he put on against Daniel Zellhuber. So him versus Sam Patterson either continues to build him as a star, or you build Sam Patterson, who's looking really entertaining and like a really cool fighter. I know he's English, so he has like that pre-built fan base as well. Yeah, so this one would be a banger. And I'm sort of matching up a few fighters on this card together just because I feel like it works out so well. And Ribovic needs a matchup outside of the rankings at lightweight. And Sam Patterson is an intriguing guy outside the rankings. Next up, Haider Emil, who won an absolute war versus William Gomez, I think should be getting a look into the rankings against Yusuf Zalal. You know, Zalal's been getting a lot of hate for like running against Calvin Kattar, even though I don't think that performance was as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be. Him versus Haider Emil would be really interesting, and just be a great way to either get Yusuf Zalal's hype back on track, or you continue to build Haider Emil, who at this point really has earned himself a shot in the rankings. He's beaten like some great opposition, not really, but like he's on like a 3-fight win streak. He beat William Gomez, that was a banger. He puts on entertaining fights every time. And I think him versus Yusuf Zalal will be really interesting. And I think Haider Emil has potential to be really a fan favorite. And you need to continue to build his name and build his star power. And you got to get him in the rankings soon. He's 34. He's 11-0 at 34, which is so weird. Because he has such like a small like amount of fights for his age. I mean, like I thought he was a young prospect until I checked. He's 34, which was kind of surprising because he's only been in the UFC for like 2 years. But yeah. So you need to build Haider Emil up quickly, get him in the rankings, and him versus Yusuf Zalal is a great way to do that. And next up, I'm not really going to address William Gomez. I don't really care. He's like maybe one of my least favorite fighters, so he can do whatever he wants. Mario Pinto got an incredible knockout of Austin Lane in the featured prelim, I think, but this was a great fight. Austin Lane rocked him, he dropped him, and that sort of showed me that maybe Mario Pinto isn't ready for the top 15 yet, and we know heavyweight needs some stars. We need young prospects at heavyweight to be built the right way, built into the top 10, so we can have some Tom Aspinall opponents in the future. And who's the guy who we build heavyweights off of? Don'Tale Mayes. Walter Walker just beat him by a heel hook, where Don'Tale Mayes didn't take too much damage, and Mario Pinto also didn't take too much damage. So turn these guys around pretty quickly. 316, 317, or maybe even like a fight night in June. Throw on the prelims, do whatever you want. But we need to build up Mario Pinto's star. Adds a star, build up his star power, because we need some young prospects at heavyweight. So yeah, that's what I do. I do Mario Pinto versus Don'Tale Mayes for next up. And if Don'Tale Mayes loses this one, he's cut from the UFC. And you just use them to build up another star. Yeah, but don't give Mario Pinto the rankings quite yet. Build him up slower so we don't get in a Honata Deniz situation where he gets fraud-checked by Marcin Tybura. And we don't get to see him be a star at heavyweight. And the last fighter I'm going to talk about is going to be Chepe Mariscal, who I think also deserves a shot at the flyweight rankings. Now, what they could do is they could do him versus Haider Emil, but I don't think Haider Emil is going to be quite ready for that. So, give him versus Danny Ige. Danny, 4 hour notice Ige, who honestly probably beat Diego Lopez, who's fighting for the title. But he lost to Lerone Murphy. He's ranked 15. That's a perfect guy to give Chepe Mariscal, who's on a 5-fight win streak now, and has really been putting in the work, who's really entertaining. That's a perfect guy to give Mariscal, to get Mariscal ranked, to get him in the rankings, to see if he really belongs at the top level of featherweight. Because we need Mariscal to stop fighting Ricardo Ramos as these lower level guys. Give him a test, see if he gets fraud checked. If he doesn't, you have a good featherweight prospect, and you can sort of continue to build the featherweight division up to the post-Topuria era. We're going to need some younger stars, because Lopez and Evloev can't be the two featherweight guys forever. We need to build up these younger guys. And like Lerone Murphy's, those sort of names have to be built to a title shot pretty soon, Because once you get through the Volkanovski, Lopez, Evloev trio, the featherweight division might get stuck unless they build up more guys. I know Pitbull's coming through. Featherweight's actually a really interesting division. So get Morskull, see if he can be in the top 15. And yeah, that was my every interesting fight to make. It wasn't really every fight to make. But thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe, like, check out my other socials. See you guys next time.